वैसे तो ज़िंदगी के अंदर अमीर होने के लिए कोई सीक्रेट रास्ता नहीं है. देयर इज़ नो सीक्रेट सॉस. बट इफ़ देयर इज़ वन थिंग और वन सीक्रेट दैट आई वुड से और अ सीक्रेट वर्ड दैट वुड रियली गिव यू द मोस्ट रिचेस इन लाइफ इज़ द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ सैक्रिफाइस. नाउ पीपल नो कि ये वर्ड सैक्रिफाइस का मतलब क्या होता है, बट व्हेन इट कम्स टू लाइक बिल्डिंग देयर लाइफ ऑफ देयर ड्रीम्स दे रियली डोंट पे मच अटेंशन टू इट. बट इफ़ यू रियली ब्रेक इट डाउन टू एवरी सक्सेसफुल पर्सन दैट हैज़ एवर वॉक दिस अर्थ, अगर तुम उनके लाइफ के इवेंट्स देखो, दे हैव डेल्ट विद द मोस्ट सैक्रिफाइस than any normal person around them. और मैं तुम्हें concept step by step explain करूंगा ताकि really तुम्हारे दिमाग में बैठ जाए. I made some notes on my board, so let's go over it and I will explain to you why sacrifice is the most important ingredient to success and you need to give it all to win the game of life. Now before I begin, I really want to go over one of my most favorite animes that I've seen, which is Full Metal Alchemist. Okay, and I'm not going to go into the story, but there's this one quote in this anime that has really stuck with me for life, and that is, humankind cannot gain anything without first giving something in return. Matlab ke to obtain something of equal value must be lost. And that is very true. A lot of people, they think that yeah, to gain the riches of the world, right, to gain the riches, they need to have this special formula और like a lottery win, या फिर कोई अमीर बंदा इनको एक ऐसा चीज बताएगा, ऐसी ट्रिक बताएगा जिसको अप्लाई करते ही माला माल हो जाएंगे. एंड अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल ऑल्सो से दैट यार अगर इस बंदे को पैसे बनाने आते हैं देन व्हाई विल ही गिव अस द सॉस. वेल, बिकॉज इट्स नॉट अबाउट द सॉस. देयर इज नो सीक्रेट टू मेकिंग मनी. द ओनली थिंग इज रियली sacrifice. So to obtain the amount of wealth that you want, you have to sacrifice something of equal value to that amount of wealth. Now when it comes to your life, what can you really sacrifice? There are some things that you can sacrifice which I'm going to talk about in a bit. But the brutal truth of life is success is equal to sacrifice. ये अपने दिमाग में बिठाओ. जिंदगी का सच ये है कि you can't have it all, right? A lot of people will tell you you can have everything in this life. Yes, it's partially true. You can be anything, but you can't have everything because your time is limited, right? And you can only give it to so many things. Right? So you can be anything in this life, but you can't have everything. So in short, if you don't sacrifice for your goal becomes a sacrifice. And that is true for so many people that you see around you on the daily. वो क्या करते हैं? They'll do everything in their daily lives which moves them away from their goal. So if this is their goal, right, they're going to be doing things which they think might not be harmful, but they don't realize it. It's moving them away from the goal. So what they're doing, they're making their goal the sacrifice. For example, इस दुनिया के अंदर nothing is neutral, right? Everything counts. ठीक है? तो अगर ये तुम्हारी baseline है जिंदगी की, right? This is the baseline of your life, and that is your ultimate goal that you want to reach, right? Every little action you do is either gonna move you towards your goal or move you away from the goal. There's no in between. तुम्हारी daily activities जो होती हैं, it all compound. Everything counts. Either you're going towards that or either you're going away from that. And a lot of people don't even know what their goal is. If you're watching this video, अपने घर वालों के साथ या family में किसी का टेस्ट करो, पूछो what are their plans 5 years from now? What is their grand goal in life? And ask them specifically how much money in their account they want, specific numbers. What kind of family they want to build, what kind of dream life they want to build, what kind of health goals they have, what kind of lifestyle goals they have. Most of you can't even give you like 3 answers. So a lot of people then don't even know that and they're going directionless, right? But that's a topic for another day. I'll talk about it in another video, but let's come back to sacrifice because that's the most important thing, right? So really, there are 4 things that I want to cover when it comes to sacrifice. First of all, I want to ask you, like, अगर तुम्हें ज़िंदगी में कुछ करना चाहते हो, how bad do you want it, right? This thing of how bad you want it, it really distinguish you from lazy, ambitious people. There are some people जिनको तुम्हें लगता है बड़े smart हैं, इनके अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा potential है, but all they're doing is they just talk big. They have plans every other day. They have business idea every day. But when it comes to giving up something, they're the first one to leave. और इस तरह के लोग हैं the one that you always want to avoid, right? They talk big games. They say they're hungry, but as soon as it's as you get to sacrifice something they care about, they reveal their true character and their true priorities. और फिर इस तरह के लोग क्या करते हैं? They want you to sacrifice it all, yet they ride the wave for free. और हमारे खानदान में कितने लोग होते हैं इस तरह के, right? एक खानदान में सारा sacrifice कर होता है और उसके साथ वेव राइड करने वाले 100 होते हैं. उसमें से कुछ ऐसे लेजी एम्बिशियस लोग भी होते हैं जो बातें बहुत बड़ी बड़ी करते हैं, but when it comes to really putting it to the test, they're the first one to flee, right? Now the second thing is the concept of sacrifice. What does it really do, right? Sacrifice fuels the fire. So think of your goal as a bright, hot flame, okay? And now when it comes to sacrifice, right? It's like you're taking that thing that you want to sacrifice, all your thoughts about it, and you throw it into the fire. The energy from that thing makes that thing burn brighter and hotter. ठीक है? So जो भी चीजें तुम अपनी लाइफ के अंदर जो तुम्हें लगता है unnecessary हैं तुम्हारे गोल की तरफ, उनको तुम इस आग में फेंकते हो, the more things you're gonna sacrifice, the brighter this flame's gonna burn. And vice versa. The more complexity, the more shitty things or habits you add to your life, the dimmer the flame's gonna get. And it brings us to our third thing about winners, right? If you really study the winners, right, you study the goats, winners sacrifice everything. You know, study the goat of any industry and see what they sacrifice to win, right? For example, you know, if you take Cristiano Ronaldo, okay, everybody knows him, right? But why do people love him so much? Because he is one of the few footballers who sacrificed everything to be the best. Cristiano Ronaldo की आज तक मिसाल देते हैं लोग के, you know, even when he was at the peak of his career, he would be the earliest to the training. जब जाने की बारी आती थी सबसे लेट भी यही निकलता था. He would always like, you know, anything apart from football was unnecessary to him. Maybe apart from family. So his whole life has been football, family, and that's about it. You know, he doesn't care about anything else. A whole time he gives it to his craft, and he knows that. He knows how to own those skills. Because if he starts sacrificing football, right, if he starts sacrificing his skills, he knows that eventually he won't be the GOAT. Because if he stops practicing and he stops practicing his work ethic, he won't be Cristiano Ronaldo, right? The very thing that makes him who he is. Another example is Michael Jordan, right? Michael Jordan ki log aaj tak bahut example dete, the greatest basketball player of all time. But really what makes him the greatest is honing his craft, giving everything in his life up for basketball. इसकी documentary थी, एक movie थी, a documentary that I don't remember which I was watching, and उसमें ये बताता है कि like there was a time when, you know, he was taking in too many sponsorships, interviews कर रहा था, मतलब he was doing everything that was not basketball. And then eventually क्या हुआ? He started losing focus, his career started going down, and he couldn't understand why that was happening. And then when he realized that, man, I'm really wasting all of that time for these stupid sponsors, right? Now, if I sacrifice my basketball, eventually I'm going to lose all of these sponsorship deals too. And why do these sponsorship deals and all of that good stuff comes to him? It's because of the very first thing that he was great at, which was basketball, right? So he went back to his game, and again he came back strong, and it led him to being top of his career yet again. You know, now the last thing about me personally, right? Like, what did I give up, you know, to have the things that I have in my life, right? I have a good house, I make a really good living, I have a decent family, I have the cars and everything. But really, you know, people see that and people think that somehow I got lucky. But you know, if you really ask my wife about how I live my everyday life, you would know that, you know, it's way beyond luck. You know, I really gave up most of my social life to get here. Every waking hour, I was thinking about my business. And right now, you know, since we have launching Inner Circle 3.0, you know, the third and the final version of the community, to build this, I've been up 14 hours working, and I'm not even lying. This is the fucking truth. Like, you know, the moment I get up, you know, मैं coffee पकड़ता हूँ, मैं computer पे बैठ जाता हूँ, and I don't get up off my chair until 6 hours have passed. Only अगर मुझे कोई bathroom की break है, कोई चीज़ की मैंने खाना खाना, and then I will get back into it again. You know, it's really not for the weak. So really, if you want to be at a position, you know, if you really want to achieve that dream lifestyle, then you're gonna sacrifice more than your average person around you. That is the only thing that make you great. And you know, really, I gave up all of my unhealthy habits, smoking, gaming, movies, anime, and dedicated full intensity to work. So every dollar now I make is invested now. I'm all in. जो भी मैं पैसा बनाता हूँ, you know, even the money that I invest in lifestyle is all intentional. It's all business, right? And, you know, I do enjoy the money that I make. Otherwise, what's the purpose? But really, you know, everything is going back into the business. Everything is going back to helping me scale. And I have to give up those things because I'm thinking long term. And one final point that I want to give is nowadays, it's not about how much information you can take. Nowadays, it's about how you can funnel the important information and just stick to it and apply that information every day. पुराने ज़माने में information बड़ी lacking थी. तो हमारे बुजुर्ग और adults कहते थे कि जितना, you know, knowledge हो सके उसको gain करो, जितना तुम, you know, information ले सकते हो लो, नहाते वक्त भी किताब पढ़ रहे हो. But nowadays we are bombarded with information, so much so that, you know, we are stuck in this loop of choosing what's the best thing for us. And the problem is a lot of people stay in that loop forever. The people who are winning nowadays are the one who choose one thing and they stick to that damn thing forever. Ab maine Inner Circle 3.0 mein what I've done is I've made a proper roadmap, step by step, for a person ताकि उसके पास कहीं पे paradox of choice आए ना, right? I tell them this is the thing that you need to do, and even if you see something that is better, even if somebody is telling you that there's a better thing, than what you're learning, don't pay attention to that, because there is not. The problem with a lot of people is that they're jumping from one platform to other, they're jumping from one business to other, one niche to another, and really the people who always end up being successful in the long run are the ones who stuck with one thing and they mastered it, right? जिस तरह मैं Cristiano Ronaldo, Michael Jordan की example दी. They stuck to that one thing and they mastered it to the maximum potential, more than an average person could, right? So if you really want to win in this life and you really want to beat the competition, then you have to be the one that shows up the most for the same thing over and over and over again. Sacrifice till your brain goes numb. You will win. And when you win, it will be so expected, it won't be a surprise to you. Like when you start winning, you will be like, I already knew this was going to happen. तुम्हारे अंदर predictability आ जाएगी. Because the amount of work you put in, normal person cannot do that. You know the cost of sacrifice, and that's why you're going to win. All the people who have really put in the time and sacrificed and they have made something out of their life, almost any time you ask them, they're never surprised. Unko pata tha, they had the self-belief that they will be great at life because of the amount of work they're doing, because of the amount of sacrifice they're giving to achieve that goal. And you are in competition with these kind of people. So what are you going to do? You're going to sit around, watch another show, watch another YouTube video, motivational thing, tell yourself कि मैं कल करूँगा, या फिर तुम आज you will take the action and you will start implementing whatever ideas you have today and go out in there and fail and learn, get the data, be better. If you start doing that, you're going to be miles ahead of 99% of people. I hope this video helps, and I hope this gives you clarity of why sacrifice is the ultimate tool to win. Now, if this is the first time you're seeing my video, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like, because I give out a lot of free knowledge, not just on mindset, but on skills as well, on client acquisition and everything. And if you want a straight step-by-step roadmap, then you can click the link down below. You will see free training. There are the steps below to join Inner Circle 3.0. If you're not going to be there, it's fine. Watch my YouTube videos. They are for free and they give you a lot of value.